The Silent Watchers, the mining vessel. Prometheus drifted silently through the asteroid belt between Mars and Jupiter, its massive drilling arms extended toward a particularly rich metallic asteroid. Commander Sarah Chen stood on the bridge, watching the operation through the reinforced viewports. At 35, she had already spent more time in space than most people spent in their careers. But something about today felt different. The asteroid belt had always been humanity's gold mine. Rich deposits of rare metals, water ice, and other resources that fueled Earth's expansion into the solar system. What they found today would change everything humanity thought they knew about their place in the universe. "Commander, we're getting some unusual readings from Sector 7, called out Lieutenant Torres from his station. The young officer's voice carried a note of confusion that made Sarah turn from the viewport. "Define unusual," Sarah said, moving to look over his shoulder at the sensor display. "The density readings don't match the visual scans. This asteroid should be solid rock and metal, but there are hollow spaces inside. Perfectly geometric hollow spaces." Sarah felt a chill run down her spine. In 20 years of space operations, she had never encountered naturally occurring geometric patterns in asteroids. "Are you certain about those readings?" "Running the scan again now, ma'am." Torres manipulated the controls, sending another pulse through the asteroid. The results were identical. "It's definitely artificial, Commander. Someone built something inside that rock." The bridge fell silent except for the soft hum of life support systems. Sarah's mind raced through the possibilities. No human technology could have created structures inside asteroids without leaving obvious signs of excavation. The implications were staggering. "Contact Earth immediately," Sarah ordered. "Priority Alpha transmission. Tell them we've found something they need to see." 3 hours later, Dr. Marcus Webb materialized on the bridge via holographic projection from his laboratory on Lunar Station. The xenobiologist had been humanity's leading expert on the possibility of alien life for over a decade, though until today it had been purely theoretical work. "Commander Chen, I've reviewed your initial data packet," Webb said, his image flickering slightly due to the transmission delay. "What you've discovered appears to be some kind of monitoring station. The geometric patterns suggest advanced technology, far beyond our current capabilities." "Monitoring station?" Sarah asked. "Monitoring what?" Webb's expression grew grave. "Based on the positioning and the directional arrays your team has identified, I believe it's been watching Earth. The question is for how long? Over the next 6 hours, Prometheus used its mining equipment to carefully excavate the alien structure. What they found defied explanation. The technology was seamlessly integrated into the asteroid's natural structure, as if it had grown there over thousands of years. Crystalline formations served as data storage, while organic-looking conduits channeled energy through living metal pathways. "Commander," Torres called out suddenly, "I'm detecting similar signatures from 17 other asteroids throughout the belt. They're all positioned to maintain line of sight with Earth." Sarah's blood ran cold. An entire surveillance network, hidden in plain sight among the asteroids humanity had been mining for decades. "How did we never detect these before?" "Because they were designed not to be detected," Webb replied through the comm. "Whoever built these has been studying us while remaining completely invisible. The sophistication is incredible." As the excavation continued, they discovered the monitoring station was still active. Data streams flowed through the crystalline matrices, recording everything happening on Earth and throughout the solar system. The aliens had been watching humanity's first steps into space, their technological development, their military capabilities. But the most disturbing discovery came when Webb managed to partially decode some of the data transmissions. The information wasn't just being recorded, it was being transmitted somewhere far beyond the solar system. "Commander, you need to see this," Webb said urgently. His holographic form leaned forward, excitement and fear warring in his expression. "I've managed to trace the transmission path. The data is being sent to a location approximately 47 light-years away, in the direction of the constellation Lyra." 47 light-years, Sarah repeated. "That would take any signal decades to reach its destination. Unless they have faster-than-light communication, Webb replied grimly, which would mean their technology is centuries ahead of ours. The implications hit Sarah like a physical blow. An advanced alien civilization had been watching humanity for decades, possibly centuries. They had remained hidden while cataloging human technological progress, military capabilities, and expansion into space. The question that haunted everyone was simple. Why? The answer came sooner than anyone expected. 2 days after the discovery of the monitoring network, every deep space observatory on Earth detected the same thing simultaneously. A massive fleet of ships had appeared at the edge of the solar system, decelerating from what must have been near light speed. The ships were enormous, each one larger than anything humanity had ever built. Dr. Webb's analysis was swift and terrifying. Based on their approach vector and deceleration pattern, they'll reach Earth's orbit in 72 hours. Commander, this isn't a peaceful first contact mission. The formation patterns, the size of the vessels, everything about their approach suggests military intent. Sarah found herself at the center of humanity's first interstellar crisis. Emergency sessions were called on Earth, the Moon, and Mars. Every government, every military force, every scientific institution was mobilized. But the harsh reality was inescapable. Humanity was vastly outgunned. "We have one advantage," Sarah told the Emergency Council during a secure transmission. "They don't know we've discovered their monitoring network. They believe we're still blind to their presence." Captain Jake Morrison, Earth's most experienced military pilot, joined the conversation from his base on Mars. "What are you suggesting?" "Commander, the alien fleet is maintaining position at the edge of the system, probably waiting for something. Maybe final confirmation from their monitoring stations, maybe just the right moment to strike. Either way, we have a narrow window of opportunity." "To do what?" asked General Harrison from Earth Command. Sarah took a deep breath. The plan forming in her mind was audacious, probably suicidal, but it might be humanity's only chance. "We strike first. We use their own monitoring network against them, feed them false information while we prepare a preemptive attack." The silence that followed was deafening. Finally, Dr. Webb spoke. "Commander, you're talking about starting an interstellar war with a civilization that has technology centuries beyond our own." "No, Doctor," Sarah replied firmly. "I'm talking about surviving one. Because whether we fight or not, they're coming. And based on everything we've learned about their surveillance network, they're not coming to say hello." Over the next 18 hours, humanity's greatest minds worked together on the most desperate plan in human history. The monitoring stations throughout the asteroid belt would be turned into weapons, their own power sources converted into massive electromagnetic pulse generators. Meanwhile, every available spacecraft would be loaded with nuclear weapons and launched on intercept courses with the alien fleet. It was a plan born of desperation, fueled by humanity's greatest strength, the refusal to surrender when faced with extinction. The aliens had watched humanity for decades, studying their technology and tactics, but they had underestimated the one thing that couldn't be measured or cataloged: the human spirit. As Sarah prepared to lead the mission personally, she received a final transmission from Earth. Children from around the world had sent messages of hope and encouragement. Families recorded farewell videos for their loved ones heading into space. The entire planet had united behind a single purpose: survival. Standing on the bridge of the hastily modified battleship Defiance, Sarah looked out at the small fleet of human vessels preparing to face an alien armada. They were outnumbered, outgunned, and facing technology they barely understood. But they were fighting for their home, their families, and their future. "All ships report ready," Morrison's voice crackled over the comm from his fighter squadron. Sarah activated the ship-wide communication system. "People of Earth, people of Mars, people of the Moon and the asteroid colonies. Today we face our greatest challenge. An alien force has come to our system with hostile intent, believing us to be easy prey. They have studied us from the shadows, thinking they know our capabilities and limitations." She paused, looking at the Earth visible in the distance, a blue jewel against the black of space. They're about to learn that humanity's greatest strength isn't our technology or our weapons. It's our refusal to give up, our willingness to stand together when everything we love is threatened. Today we show them that Earth will not go quietly into the night. The human fleet began moving toward the outer system, toward an enemy that had traveled across the galaxy to destroy them. Behind them, the monitoring stations throughout the asteroid belt began their transformation from observers to weapons. Humanity was about to teach the universe a lesson about the dangers of underestimating a species fighting for its survival. The hunter becomes the hunted. The journey to the outer system took 18 hours, during which time the human fleet maintained complete radio silence. Sarah stood on the Bridge of Defiance, watching the alien ships grow larger on the tactical display. Even at this distance, their technology was obviously superior. The vessels moved with an elegance that human ships couldn't match, and energy readings suggested power sources beyond current human understanding. "Commander, we're approaching the point of no return," reported Navigation Officer Kim. The young woman's voice was steady despite the magnitude of what they were about to attempt. Sarah nodded, then activated a secure channel to Dr. Webb back. "On Luna Station. Doctor, status report on our surprise packages." "All monitoring stations have been successfully converted," Webb replied. "We've essentially turned their own surveillance network into a massive directed energy weapon grid. When activated, it should create an electromagnetic pulse wave that will disable their electronics across a significant portion of the solar system. And our ships? Hardened against the pulse, but you'll still experience some system disruptions. The alien vessels, however, should be completely incapacitated for approximately 30 minutes. 30 minutes to destroy an entire alien invasion fleet." Sarah had led difficult missions before, but nothing compared to this. "Captain Morrison, are your fighter squadrons ready?" "As ready as we'll ever be, Commander." Morrison's voice came through the comm from his position 3 kilometers off the port bow. "My pilots know what's at stake. We won't let you down." The plan was simple in concept, nearly impossible in execution. The converted monitoring stations would fire their electromagnetic pulse, disabling the alien ship's electronics. During the brief window of vulnerability, the human fleet would close distance and destroy as many alien vessels as possible using nuclear weapons. It would be a one-time opportunity. If they failed, humanity would face certain extinction. "All ships, prepare for acceleration," Sarah commanded. "Remember, once we begin this attack, there's no going back. We either succeed here, or our families on Earth pay the price." The human fleet began accelerating toward the alien formation, which maintained position at the edge of the solar system. The alien ships were arranged in a perfect geometric pattern, suggesting either supreme confidence or advanced tactical coordination. Sarah suspected both. As they approached weapon range, Sarah's tactical officer called out urgently, "Commander, I'm detecting movement in the alien formation. They're repositioning." Sarah felt her heart skip a beat. "Do they know we're coming?" "Unknown, ma'am, but their formation is shifting from a holding pattern to what appears to be an attack formation." Through the viewport, Sarah could see the alien ships beginning to move. Their hulls gleamed with an inner light, and weapon ports were becoming visible along their sides. Whatever element of surprise they might have had was rapidly disappearing. "All ships, emergency acceleration," Sarah ordered. "We need to get into position before they can mount a coordinated defense." The human fleet surged forward, engines straining at maximum capacity. Behind them, throughout the asteroid belt, the converted monitoring stations began powering up for their one chance to turn the tide of battle. Suddenly, the largest alien vessel, a massive ship nearly 3 kilometers long, began transmitting on multiple frequencies. Dr. Webb's voice came through the comm from Luna Station, filled with excitement and fear. "Commander, they're trying to communicate. I'm receiving structured signals, mathematical progressions. They know we're here, and they want to talk." Sarah faced the most difficult decision of her life. Everything they had planned was based on a surprise attack. If they stopped now to attempt communication, they would lose their only advantage. But if they proceeded with the attack, they might be destroying beings who only wanted to establish peaceful contact. "What's your assessment, Doctor?" Sarah asked, though she already knew time was running out. The mathematical sequences are consistent with peaceful contact protocols, but Webb paused. Commander, I'm also detecting massive energy buildups throughout their fleet. If these are weapons charging, they have enough firepower to sterilize every inhabited world in the solar system. The decision crystallized in Sarah's mind. Humanity couldn't afford to guess wrong. If the aliens were truly peaceful, she would bear the responsibility for starting an interstellar war. But if they were hostile, hesitation would mean the extinction of the human race. All stations, execute Phoenix Protocol, Sarah commanded. Fire when ready. Throughout the asteroid belt, the converted alien monitoring stations erupted with brilliant flashes of light. Decades of accumulated energy were released in a coordinated electromagnetic pulse that washed across the outer solar system like an invisible tsunami. The effect on the alien fleet was immediate and devastating. The graceful movements of their ships became erratic as their control systems failed. The inner light that had illuminated their hulls flickered and died. For the first time since their arrival, the alien vessels looked vulnerable. Now! Sarah shouted. All ships, attack formation, maximum speed. The human fleet surged forward like an arrow shot from a bow. Morrison's fighter squadron spread out in attack formation, their nuclear-tipped missiles armed and ready. The larger ships, including Defiance, moved to engage the alien command vessels, but even disabled, the alien ships were formidable. As the electromagnetic pulse began to fade, some of their systems started coming back online. Emergency power flickered throughout their hulls, and defensive systems began reactivating. They're adapting faster than expected, reported the tactical officer. Some of the smaller vessels are already beginning evasive maneuvers. Sarah watched as the largest alien ship, despite its disabled state, began rotating to bring its weapon arrays to bear on the approaching human fleet. Whatever powered their weapons was either hardened against electromagnetic pulses or had backup systems that were rapidly coming online. Morrison, take your squadron and hit that command ship, Sarah ordered. All other squadrons, spread out and engage targets of opportunity. We need to do maximum damage while they're still vulnerable. The space battle that followed would be remembered as the most desperate fight in human history. Morrison's fighters darted between the massive alien vessels like insects attacking giants, their missiles striking with pinpoint accuracy. Nuclear explosions blossomed throughout the alien formation, destroying some ships entirely and crippling others. But the aliens were fighting back. As their systems came online, energy beams lanced out from their weapon arrays, destroying human fighters in brilliant flashes of light. The technology gap was obvious. Each alien ship that regained full power became exponentially more dangerous. Commander, we're taking heavy casualties, Morrison reported, his voice strained as he maneuvered his fighter through a maze of energy beams. But we're making a dent in their formation. At least 6 alien vessels are completely destroyed, and several others are severely damaged. Sarah nodded grimly. They were winning, but at a terrible cost. Half of Morrison's fighter squadron was already gone, and more were being destroyed every minute as the alien weapons came back online. Then something unexpected happened. The largest alien vessel, instead of continuing to fight, began transmitting. Again. But this time, the transmission was different. Instead of mathematical sequences, it was sending detailed technical specifications, blueprints for faster-than-light communication, advanced propulsion systems, and energy weapons. Commander, Webb's excited voice came through the comm. They're not just communicating, they're sharing technology. This is incredible. They're trying to surrender. Sarah felt a moment of doubt. Had they been wrong about the aliens' intentions? But then her tactical officer called out urgently, "Ma'am, energy spike from the alien command ship. They're powering up what looks like a planet-killer weapon." The moment of doubt vanished. Whether the technology transfer was genuine or a distraction, the aliens were preparing to use a weapon capable of destroying worlds. Sarah made her decision. "All ships concentrate fire on the command vessel," she ordered. "Everything we have, right now." The remaining human fleet converged on the massive alien ship, pouring nuclear fire into its hull. The alien vessel's shields flared and collapsed under the sustained assault. Explosions rippled across its surface as critical systems overloaded. But The planet-killer weapon continued charging. Sarah realized with growing horror that even if they destroyed the ship, the weapon might fire automatically as a final act of destruction. "Morrison, can you get inside their hull?" Sarah asked desperately. "Working on it, Commander," Morrison replied. His fighter, battered and smoking from multiple hits, dove toward a breach in the alien ship's hull. "If I can get to their power core, maybe I can overload it." Sarah watched helplessly as Morrison's fighter disappeared into the bowels of the alien vessel. Around them, the battle continued, but everything now depended on one man's desperate mission inside an alien ship. Minutes passed like hours. Then Morrison's voice crackled over the comm, weak and distorted. "Found their power core, Commander. It's like nothing I've ever seen. Organic technology integrated with quantum processors. But I think I can cause a cascade failure." "Morrison, you need to get out of there," Sarah said urgently. "Negative, Commander. The only way to stop their weapon is from inside. Tell my family I love them." The explosion that followed lit up the outer solar system like a new star. The alien command ship disappeared in a burst of energy that could be seen from Earth. The remaining alien vessels, cut off from their command structure and facing determined human resistance, began to withdraw. As the alien fleet retreated beyond the edge of the solar system, Sarah stood on the Bridge of Defiance, looking out at the debris field that marked humanity's first interstellar battle. They had won, but at a terrible cost. Dozens of brave men and women had given their lives to protect their homeworld. "Commander," Webb's voice came through the comm, filled with awe. "The technology they transmitted before the final battle. It's all genuine. Faster than light travel, advanced energy systems, everything we need to defend ourselves and expand into the galaxy." Sarah nodded slowly. The aliens had come to conquer Earth, viewing humanity as a primitive species ripe for subjugation. Instead, they had encountered a force they hadn't expected: desperate courage, innovative tactics, and the willingness to sacrifice everything for freedom. The message would spread throughout the galaxy. Humanity was no longer an isolated species on a single world. They were a force to be reckoned with, protectors of their own destiny. And anyone who underestimated the human spirit did so at their own peril. As the human fleet began its journey home, Sarah looked back at the stars where the alien ships had disappeared. This was just the beginning. Humanity had announced its presence to the galaxy in the most dramatic way possible. The universe would never be the same.